Hey everybody, let's give it a second here to get the streaming going because I don't want anyone to miss the important shit. Hope you're doing all right out there. All right. And away we go. Welcome everybody. Welcome to Moment of Clarity. Thought I'd do a quick one here today about Trump's tax returns, which we have finally learned. Yes, as we all knew, Donald Trump is winning. He's fucking winning, man. He's winning the game. Good for him. Killing it. He paid zero taxes for fucking 10 out of 15 years. You go, man. No, he's not like us. We pay taxes. He doesn't have to. That shit's for us. That shit is for lowly, fucking sad, pathetic clowns. Donald the man Trump does not pay taxes. They paid $750 his first year in the White House and $750 his second year in the White House. Even as president, he's paying almost nothing in taxes. What a fucking winner. All right. How did people not see this coming? I mean, this guy's a winner. Everything he does, he fucking wins. So of course he's going to be winning on not paying taxes too. Good for him. Way to go, Donald. You're showing all of us how to be better people, how to get out of our taxes better. That's what I like to see out of my president. Good job, Donald. Way to go, buddy. Also, he's in debt to the tune of millions of dollars, which, it's another form of winning. It's just a different style of winning, really. Really, being in debt. It's big time winning. But here's what you won't hear on the mainstream media about these tax returns and finally learning that Donald Trump pays very little to nothing in taxes, and then he's been lying about his net worth and everything else. Here's what you don't hear on your mainstream media: is the type of leader, the type of oligarchs that a corrupt and pathetic and undermined and gutted system vomits up. This is what you get when the entire system has been rotten to the core, turned into a smoldering, festering, I don't know if it can be smoldering and festering, but a smoldering, festering swamp. Acting like this is Donald Trump who's done this himself. He's the only problem here. It'd be like finding like a nasty old raccoon carcass that is decomposing, and you flip it over and you see the maggots and all kinds of weird, creepy, crawly shit under there that's living in the guts and shit. And you point to the biggest maggot and you go, it's all of this nastiness, the dead raccoon, the decomposing, all of the fucking shit living in there and crawling and everything. All of it is the fault of that big maggot there. That's the one that did it. That's his fault. No, he's there because the system is fucking rotten and just decomposing and festering to the core. And that's when you end up with the giant, nasty maggot. Donald Trump is absolutely what this system deserves, in the sense that it will inevitably get here. An unfettered, unregulated capitalist nightmare in late-stage capitalist country. You get to a point where it vomits up these oligarchs. And Donald Trump is just the kind of most evident, most clear version of that. In a way that we haven't seen before. We haven't seen it be so obvious and in our faces before. But most of the systems have not changed. The gutting of the environment, the gutting of workers' lives, the complete destruction around the world that we've created with our unleashed military. All of that is created by the oligarchs that were already in power before Donald Trump. And it is a system that will create these type of leaders. And that will not change, whether you get Donald Trump out of office in November or not. That will not change unless you get to the heart of the problem, the core of the rot. Unless you dig that out, you will not see much change. Only the things on the edges will change. Only the fact that one person, one oligarch actually pays his taxes, that'll be the difference, rather than actually getting to the core of these problems. As I've said before, this is a gravity of the system. This is when you unfettered capitalism will always end in it has a gravity towards this, and even in countries that are doing better, that don't have the type of leaders that we're so horrified by, like Donald Trump and Nancy Pelosi and Mitch McConnell, Joe Biden and Chuck Schumer. Even when the countries that are doing slightly better, their oligarchs, don't touch children as much and shit like that. Maybe they have lesser oligarchs, people that are not as wealthy. Their political system is not filled with multi-millionaires. It's slightly different, but the gravity is still headed in that direction. The gutting of the social safety net, the gutting of those things meant for all of us, the communal good has all been torn apart, ripped to shreds. That stuff is still happening in the countries that are doing better, like let's say Canada. On the recent social progress meter of nations, they ranked all the nations. United States, I think, got somewhere in the 30s, although we were terrible on a bunch of things, environment, healthcare, maternity. Wait, what was that? I've misused my words here. But anyway, the death rate of new mothers, maternal death rate. Even though we're terrible on a lot of things, we're still like, in the 30s or 40s or something. But Canada was 7. Okay, Canada ranked number 7. But as anybody in Canada can tell you, anybody who understands the system and isn't some kind of right-wing goon, they themselves are filled with like a neoliberal leadership. They support all of our endless economic wars that are crushing nations around the world. The leaders do. I don't mean the average Canadian. So they also are in this gravitational pull of the system towards this darkness, this complete environmental and economic collapse. I mean, how much has Canada done to stop climate change? They're better than the U.S., but that's not saying much. That ain't saying much. So, that's just one example of how the gravity of this system still heads in that direction. And it will get, eventually Canada will be as bad as the U.S. is. And everything that's done that you can point to as, a success is usually just a Band-Aid to slow down the rot. It's not actually talking about the system. So if you're watching shows that are just talking about this leader or that leader, this oligarch or that oligarch, isn't it bad what Nancy Pelosi did? Or isn't it bad what Donald Trump did? And that's all they're talking about. I'm not saying mention it. You can mention it. It's important to talk about it. Trump doesn't pay his taxes. But if that's all they're talking about, then they're not actually getting to the root of the issue. They're not getting to the fact that we have an economic system based on infinite growth on a planet with finite resources. It is impossible. At the end of the day, it is utterly and purely impossible to continue down this path, and that's the root of it. I'm sorry if that's a little bit depressing, but that's the root of it. And I think you got to talk about that stuff. And another point is like, yes, Trump is like paying no taxes, deeply in debt. Finds every way he can, mostly legal battles, to stop from paying his bills or his taxes or anything else. And while all the mainstream media runs around talking about this new breaking news, how many of them are actually talking about the fact that, Amazon pays no taxes most years, or GE paid 0 taxes many years, or Exxon and Chevron and a lot of these oil companies are paying 0 taxes because they claim they had losses, even though they're taking in billions upon billions of dollars a quarter. That's what I'm saying is Donald Trump is the perfect representation of what the system is. Normally, it's corporations that are running things and paying 0 taxes, not paying into the society that they're benefiting from. They're getting furiously and incredibly rich, and they're not paying it back to the system in any way, even a small way, as much as they can. Amazon, does everything they can to make sure they pay as little as possible. These tax havens, another point on this, these tax havens have been well known for years about how much just mountains of money is in tax havens right now. I think these numbers go back to like 2012, so I'm sure it's far greater than this. But it was like in 2012, it was like $11 trillion of U.S. money was in tax havens and $32 trillion globally. That was 2011 or 2012. So God knows what it is now. But let's just say it's still $11 trillion. $11 trillion in tax havens, not being paid, again, not being paid back to the society that actually allowed them to get that rich, because they see no need to do that. They see no need to help the society to actually pay any kind of taxes, while you and I are forced to. You and I must pay our taxes, or we go to jail. But Donald Trump, not so much. It's very similar to the saying that if you rob one person, you go to jail. If you try and rob a bank or something, you go to jail. But if you rob the entire country, then you're a hero. You're the top of the system. You're on the covers of magazines. This guy managed to rob the entire country. Fucking Warren Buffett or Bill Gates or some shit. The Jeff Bezos. You're on the cover of magazines. They're like, look at this fucking guy. He's a hero. He robbed the whole goddamn country. But if you rob a bank, the one guy walking into a bank, you are fucked. All right, then you are going to jail for a long time. So you got to rob everybody. Keep that in mind. And if you're just one person without a lot of money, it's gonna be tough. You're gonna have to go door to door, and it's gonna take days to rob everybody. I'd say minimum, maybe weeks. I'd leave weeks on your schedule for all the robbing, because that's a lot of robbing. But yeah, so Donald Trump is a representation of the system as a whole, and your mainstream media will never mention that, right? Because their job, even Fox News, although Fox News is different because they'll also defend Donald Trump, but their job, all of our mainstream media, even our New York Times, all of them that New York Times broke this story or whatever, their job is to say that this rot, this collapse that we're seeing of our economy, and I don't even mean just since the pandemic. We've had an economic collapse in the sense that it's collapsed for average people for years now, right? Wages stagnant, people working for pennies without any benefits. You got to get people begging on the street for a dental plan. You're in a back alley trying to get a molar removed. It's fucked. That guy doesn't know what he's doing. Smithy down on 12th. He don't know what he's doing. He took out it wasn't even a tooth. I don't know. It was probably like a bone. It was like a jawbone. It wasn't. I was like, dude, that's not my tooth. Anyway, fuck that guy. But while everybody else is struggling, economic collapse has been going on for years. The corporations paying zero taxes. This is the system. So our mainstream media's job is to reveal something about Donald Trump, let's say, or occasionally they'll pick someone else as the kind of quintessential scapegoat when they need it, like Madoff, right? Bernie Madoff. This is evil. This guy's evil. He's the bad one. Put him in jail. Not the system as a whole. Their job is to defend this completely indefensible system and tell you it's working and tell you everything is going to be fine if we just get rid of that guy. That is their job. And it gets everybody's head to turn. Oh, what is that guy? Rather than actually looking around and going, why is it in the richest country in the world we need to have a lot of people homeless? Why is it we need to have countless millions of empty homes? Why is it 100 million people are either in the middle of or facing eviction right now? Why do we need that? Do we need millions upon millions of people, families, to be out on the streets? Is that really how the system should work? Because if that is how the system is supposed to work, at what point do we go, maybe there's a better system? Maybe there's a better way to do this. And that is their job. That is corporate fucking media's job, is to tell you, no. Do not question the system. The system is awesome. For us, meaning the mainstream media, for them, it's fucking great. For you and most people, not so much. But if you start questioning the system, guess what else you do? You start teaming up. You start uniting. You look at the other guy and you go, he also gets that this system's fucked. And so you guys start working together. And that is terrible for them as well. That is terrible. So Donald Trump is both the leader that is vomited up from a corrupt system, and he is also, in a way, the scapegoat. Now, it's not, maybe the traditional definition of scapegoat is someone who's innocent. Donald Trump is not innocent. Donald Trump is both a scam artist, a con artist, and a complete fraud. He is a sociopathic villain in every sense of the word, but he's not the cause of everyone's problems. He is the symptom. He is the inevitable fucking vomitous legion that arises when, and I don't think that vomit arise. I guess maybe it comes up from down below, but that arises when you have a system this fucking rotten and corrupt. And as I'm saying with the corporations, that is the design of the system. This is not an accident. This is not a mistake. This is not a whoopsie. This is not a fucking, the system was not working great and then tripped and fell. Okay? This is how it is built. This is where it will always end up, even for other countries that are not as far gone as ours in terms of being late stage capitalism. And you can see this in the fact that both parties vote to continue this, right? Now, the Democrats will go after Donald Trump, but will they vote to actually regulate Wall Street? Have they done that? Will they vote to actually stop the fucking endless, unfettered, fucking snowballing greed of Wall Street, but also the power that greed has over the government by buying all of the elections? Are they actually going to stand up against that? Are they going to regulate that? Are they going to say that money in politics needs to stop? They might say it, but are they going to make it happen? Fuck no. It is the system that put them there. They are the oligarchs that get there in a corrupt system. So no, they're not. The Democrats and Republicans agree on this. They agree that whether you're upset about Trump not paying taxes or not, we're not going to actually do anything about corporations not paying taxes. That is fine by us because they don't give a fuck about America, the corporations. They don't give a flying fuck. If another country comes along, gives them better taxes, better place to have their factories because people will work for even cheaper, even lower wages, even worse dental. I went in to get the molar removed and he started rooting around in my ass. That is the worst kind of dental. That is like, I gave him a bad Yelp review. I absolutely did. That's not even the right orifice. But the moment that comes along, that a corporation can move somewhere and achieve more profit, they are going there because they don't give a fuck about the country. And for you, for any of you watching in other countries, the same goes for you, for most of your companies. And it will get worse because this system allows sociopaths to rise to the top. The sociopaths are the ones that get to the boardrooms. They're the ones that get up there. Nobody who fucking cares about others is going to run these boardrooms. Are you kidding me? No, they never get promoted out of the mailroom. If you step on a guy's toe in the mailroom and you're like really worried and concerned for him, then you're not getting promoted. It's the guy who slashes everyone's throats and then gets promoted to, wow, you really dominated the mailroom. Well done. So that's the guy that moves up the ladder. So we have a system dominated by sociopaths, and it's built that way. But another thing, I'll a couple more points real quick. The other thing you keep talking about on these mainstream reports about Donald Trump's taxes is about the sway that it gives other governments, right? Other nations will have sway over Donald Trump because he owes them millions of dollars, or they offer to help him deal with all of the debt he has right now. That they might have sway over him, and I agree that's not a good thing. If you're in a complete, nationalistic, we've got to beat you and you try and kill us kind of mood, that's not a good thing. But in all this mainstream media coverage, CNN, MSNBC, all those, NBC, CBS, SOB, another good one. It's a good network I like. They'll talk about the sway that the corporations countries will have on Donald Trump because of this debt he has, but the sway from other countries and to add in corporations as well on all of our presidents is massive. If they're helping us kill other people, if they're helping us dominate other countries, the sway, that the influence that they have on our system is massive. How about Israel? Israel has a crazy amount of influence. They run our fucking Congress, for God's sakes, half the time. I mean, they have immense influence on us. The weapons deals that we have with tons of countries, and then those weapons companies that then have pressure, the ability to pressure our ruling elite. So they've all this fucking ranting and raving on CNN. Other countries could have sway, could have influence over Donald Trump, and it's like, dude, where have you been? Saudi Arabia has had immense sway over our government. The day after 9/11, they fucking flew all the bin Ladens out of the country when planes weren't even going. The planes weren't even going, but they flew the bin Ladens out of the country because, guess what? Bush family, pretty close with a lot of the bin Laden family. Go ahead and look it up. They're old buddies with the bin Ladens. Was it? And there's all those photos of George Bush because over there it's normal. It's more culturally normal for men to hold hands. Those photos of him holding hands with various Saudi rulers and shit. These countries have immense sway over the United States and impact, and in a multitude of ways. Sure, once we decide we are going to go at odds with another country, we then cut off a lot of that sway. A lot of that influence. So, for example, back when we were on good terms with Russia, we had all kinds of oil deals with them, right? Rex Tillerson, who was the head of ExxonMobil, he got the fucking top honor in Russia for all the oil deals he did with them. So back then, there was the influence of money making by both sides. Let's extract the oil. Let's make all this money. Some of it's stealing. Let's steal all this money. Whatever. But then once we decide, oh no, we're creating a new Cold War, we have to hate these people, then you start untangling the corporate influence and cutting things off as they're trying to do with China right now. But of course, and then there's other countries that don't have influence on us in that way. There's many other ways, and corporations are obviously the biggest, the richest people in the world. I mean, can you imagine the amount of influence that Amazon has on our government? All of these people, many of them Democrats, that are fucking running around and going, look at the influence they have on Donald Trump. It's like, you motherfuckers would get down on your knees and scrub the shoes of Jeff Bezos if he walked into the room. You would fucking, are you kidding me? The amount of influence other countries have, the amount of influence that all of these companies, Amazon, Walmart, ExxonMobil, Monsanto, Bayer, Big Pharma, Pfizer, the amount of influence, big tech with Google and fucking Facebook, the amount of influence these companies have over our government is just about 100%. It's uncut, undiluted, just straight up pure influence. That's what our government is. It is owned and operated by corporate America. So the idea that they're bitching about influence. Now, again, none of this is a defense of Donald Trump. This is an explanation of the system as a whole. So if any of you think, he's, legitimizing what Donald Trump is doing, no, I'm not. He is equally fucking awful and sociopathic and villainous as any of them. But he's not the only one, which is what they want to pretend. CNN and all them. They want to act like this is unheard of. There's influence on the presidency. My goodness. Oh, dearest me. They're all closing their knees and pulling their skirts down. Oh, God, the influence. It's all horseshit. Okay, I hope that put things into a little bit of perspective for you. But this just drives me fucking nuts when Donald Trump doesn't pay taxes. Yeah, go talk to GE and Amazon. Again, I'm not saying don't be angry at Donald Trump. I'm saying be angry at Donald Trump and also be angry at fucking GE and Exxon and Walmart and Amazon. Go hate them too. God damn it. They're really looking at a rotten corpse of a raccoon and they're pointing to the biggest maggot and going, that's the problem. That's the problem. All right, guys, that's been your moment of clarity, but I do these almost every single day, except sometimes. They're at leecamp.com. So it's on you. They're not going to show these to you. Very rarely is this stuff going to pop up in your feed. Even if you're watching a Redacted Tonight or Moment of Clarity video, usually the next video that they recommend is not going to be mine because they're trying to get you away from my stuff. So, most of the time you watch Redacted Tonight, gets to the end, and they go, here's the next video you should check out. And guess what it is? Fucking CNN, John Oliver, something that ain't me because they're like, hey, here's an idea. Don't be here. Here's an idea. Don't watch this. So it's up to you. If you go to leecamp.com every day or, every couple of days, you'll see each new video and see what I'm doing. Otherwise, I don't think they're going to show it to you. You can also join the free email list there. And my book is at leecampbook.com. Please share this video. Keep fighting.